over 95% of the US visa rejections that are happening right now, and there's a lot of them happening, by the way, are happening because of these three major reasons. And I'm going to tell you these three major reasons because you need to know simple mistakes that people are making that's getting them rejected and wasting money, time, effort. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are today in San Diego. It's a beautiful day, and we are going to talk to you about mass visa rejections. I saw in during my visa interview itself, every one or two out of three people were just getting rejected. And today we're talking about how, when I went for even my visa interview, I saw multiple people, every one or two out of four people getting rejected because they were making these common mistakes. Number one mistake, I don't want to add any fluff. Let's get started. Number one mistake is that you go ahead in front of the officer on your DS-160. You mention that you have a relative, and then you're telling them during the interview that you don't have a relative. Inconsistencies in DS-160 is what I'm talking about. You go ahead to the interview, you essentially tell anything that is different from what you've submitted on the DS-160. Maybe you say that you're going to study, basically, and then during the interview you say, first I'll be visiting my aunt, I'll be going there and there and there, and then I go to my school. So I'm going a bit early. Again, big inconsistency. Understand this, when you apply for a visa, you want to stay consistent to that visa type. You want to know what you've submitted in the DS-160. It is surprising to know that so many people, they don't even fill up their own forms. They just hire an agent. The agent fills up the forms. They don't know what's written in the form. They don't study it. They don't do anything about it. They just go ahead and appear for the interview. That's it. Boom, you get rejected because you don't even know what you've said in the application itself. Your visa officer certainly knows, but you don't. So you're just submitting anything random, and then you're going ahead and essentially you're giving the wrong information. What do you expect, right? That's one big reason for rejection. Another big reason, second big reason, is bad university. What do I mean with bad universities, badly ranked universities? Well, right now I am in San Diego, and sometimes what happens is that you drive across here or there, and you would randomly see that just like the size of this building or maybe two buildings, there's a university established over here. Can you imagine that? Just one or two, size of two houses or two commercial buildings, that's a whole university. Understand this. If your university, and you search the university name and you find that university has 85, 100%, acceptance rate, or, 70, 80% acceptance rate, that basically means anyone applying to that university practically is getting in. There's hardly any criteria of getting in. Almost anyone applies and they get in, because why? University wants their money, and the student wants to get into the easiest possible university possible so that they could just go in, find their pathway, and they're probably not gonna, it's very easy, right? You come into the country, you don't go to the university, and you start working the job. So the officer starts thinking, hey, this person is not going to go essentially study. They're basically going to a bad ranked university, even though they could get a better university in their home country. Yet they are going into this kind of university simply because they want to defraud the system at the end of the day. And that's one of the biggest reasons why you might end up getting rejected. I see this so many times. It is irrevocable. You get a 214B. The only way to overcome this rejection is a change of circumstance. People don't want to hear this, but the change of circumstance happens when you change your university. It can happen because of other reasons. 214B might come because of other reasons. We're going to talk about that. But one of the most common reasons is this. You're going to a bad university. Officer's not confident that you're going to come back. There's no ties to your home country. And with that said, you've basically dug up your own grave, because at the end of the day, there's probably nothing you can say at that point to the visa officer that fixes this. It's just not possible. You cannot fix this because the university is so bad. No matter how well trained you are for the interview, you're going to get rejected. So try to avoid that. And the final point, or point number 3, is no ties to your home country or limited ties to your home country, which basically means that you go ahead for the interview and you just seem to be a person who might not come back because of certain reasons. And these certain reasons could be anything. Depends on a case-by-case basis. But maybe you just don't have anything in your home country. All of your family is already in the US, and you're just basically going to go ahead and join them. That could be one reason. Again, maybe you just don't have the finances to afford the degree, but you're going. So what the officer thinks is that, okay, this person doesn't have the finances. They're just going over there to make some money, because you clearly cannot afford the education, right? You don't have a loan, don't have the finances. How are you going to afford it, right? You're just there in front of the officer. So in many cases, the main reason is that you don't have ties to your home country. It seems like you're going to immigrate, you're going to start working, and you're not really going to study. That's again one of the biggest reasons for the rejection. Look, there are other reasons. You can get rejected for hundreds of reasons as such. But when you get the 214B slip, and I think you would in most cases, that's what you get. These are the biggest reasons. You need to know about these 3 and you need to tackle them. And I think I've given you enough in this video to know how to tackle them. But that's not it. You can now go ahead to YMGrad.com. We have an AI visa officer essentially over there for you, trained on real interviews, real people. And you're going to go ahead over there, submit your answers, and you can see if your answers are good enough, if your school is good enough. All that will be given to you for absolutely free. Just try it out once. And if you need more help, you're getting rejected, you're not really sure how to overcome that, you can always reach out to me. Directly sign up on YMGrad.com. You'll see my chat box over there. You can message me and we can talk about how you can overcome your rejection, because sometimes I understand you may not know what you're doing essentially, especially in your personal case. It becomes very difficult to see through. Sometimes you don't want to hear that your university is bad, you need to change this or that, but you just try your best, right? So those are the reasons. Reach out to me anytime you need. Follow me on Instagram. I have much more content just like this, and I hope that this video helps.